As someone with a gaming YouTube channel, I feel the responsibility to make at least one video about microtransactions. They suck! Okay, no, I'm actually going to talk about this shit. Injustice 2 is a great game, but I'm also a little frustrated with it. I just want to color my fucking character, but I can't. In order to buy a large chunk of the shaders in Injustice 2, which are essentially color changes for your characters, you need source crystals. The only two ways to earn source crystals are by paying out of pocket with cash, or by spending fucking 6 hours a day grinding through multiverses and online matches. I might as well just join a fucking tournament and play to the finals, and then maybe when I win, I will have enough source crystals for a half of a shader. I just want to change this motherfucker's head! Every time I play Injustice 2 at this point, I feel like I'm toiling away in a coal mine. Yeah, somebody slapped some superhero posters up in the coal mine, so it doesn't really feel like I'm mining coal per se, but I can only delude myself for so long. It's like WB just keeps punching me in my balls. But this time they just clipped my taint. Yeah, it sucks, but at least they didn't go for my balls this time. This is how I have to think when I'm buying games these days. Are they gonna punch me in my balls, or are they just gonna punch me in my taint? And the ratio of games that require either a ball or taint punch compared to the games that come genital punch free is increasing at an alarming rate. But I know it's probably against YouTube etiquette to begin a video by talking about my balls and my taint, so let me just give you some context. This is the third time WB has fucked up some shit that I care about. Arkham Knight was the first to go. Back in 2015, the Arkham trilogy was on its way to becoming one of the best trilogies in gaming history, before Warner Brothers just had to bury its greedy little orc fingers right in Rocksteady's butthole. I'm using all of this disgusting imagery, by the way, because these business practices disgust me. And also, I just like to say the word butthole. So these fucking buttholes over at WB got Rocksteady to add a season pass to Arkham Knight, which included the following as paid DLC. 9 Batmobile skins, 24 character skins, 5 isolated mini-stories that are just terrible, no effort into any of them, nobody asked for this, 4 extra campaign side missions that the game desperately needed, including new villains like Mr. Freeze and Ra's al fucking Ghul. God, this makes me sick! And here's the final piece of the puzzle, the real kicker. Over 20 of the challenge maps from the game. These were what kept me coming back to Asylum and City for literally years. The challenge maps in the Arkham series were simple, they weren't much, but they were a vital fucking part of the replay factor of that series. Some of my favorite high school memories are playing those challenge maps over and over late into the night, and WB cut that shit out with a scalpel and sold me back the bloody pieces. I had to pay to give Arkham Knight any semblance of replayability. Injustice 2 was the next WB game to take a hit. It's definitely less egregious than Arkham Knight, but the pricing of these palette swaps is ridiculous, and over time they become harder and harder to acquire through sheer gameplay. The shaders are shady indeed, and now we arrive at Shadow of War. I remember the day I woke up and read that now infamous press release. Gold? Mirrodin? Trafficking orcs for cash on some Taken shit? What are these war chests? Countless YouTubers have made videos going into the details of that dreaded press release, so I'm gonna skip over that stuff. But needless to say, I'm significantly less excited for Shadow of War than I was 2 months ago, back when it was kind of the only game I gave a fuck about for the rest of the year. It's been a slow year. But, I wrote all that stuff you just heard like 3 days ago, and today is today, and today this happened. So some producer at WB died of cancer. Shit's sad. I smoke cigarettes, Grim Reaper's coming for my ass next. In reaction to this man's tragic death, Monolith created a character named Forthog Orc Slayer to commemorate him, which is kinda sweet in my eyes, even if you can assumedly cut this orc's head off and mount it on a pike if you want to. Or is Forthog just the one unkillable orc in the entire game? Fuck it, doesn't matter, look at this, look at how badass they made him. But hey, wait. Don't get too excited just yet. Just remember, this is Warner Brothers. A bunch of living fucking vampires who must gain profit from everything that happens within their orbit. Up to and including employee death. You gotta pay $5 for your game to feature Forthog Wallet Slayer. But luckily, $3.50 of that purchase is going to the family of the man who passed away. Oh, wait, what's this? Is this some fine print? Oh, you only benefit the charity if you buy the character in 44 of the 50 states in the US. So honestly, only a fraction of the worldwide profits are going to this man's grieving family. Wow. Wow. I think my main man Yongyea said it best.
What Warner Brothers is doing here is straight up profiting from a dead man's memorial under the guise of charity. They are taking advantage of this awful situation to make a little extra money on the side.
And while WB is one of the worst modern offenders, they're not the only perpetrator of microtransaction-related offenses. Far from it. I'm sure if you haven't been living under a fucking Koopa shell since 2007, you realize that microtransactions are ever present in video games these days, and it seems like they're only getting worse.
So how do we fight?
Bitch and moan. I mean, don't be like a dick to people, basic human decency shit like that. But you have the right to free speech, so use it. Make Facebook posts, Twitter posts, YouTube videos about this topic, and make your displeasure known. But that's not the really important part. The important part is not supporting games and companies that endorse these policies. In times of strife or indecision, just remember these 6 simple words. Do not give them your money. Don't buy these games day one, because that leaves more copies of Shadow of War for me. I'm sorry, I'm weak. I just wanted to decapitate some orcs. When did it all get so complicated? But you can be better. You can be better than this random guy on YouTube. And look, if you're like me and just can't resist a certain game that features microtransactions, the same thing happened with the Phantom Pain a few years back. Just don't pay for those specific things. If you can't wait to buy Shadow of War, at least don't participate in the microtransactions by staying the hell out of the market. You won't find my ass there, not even for a second. But I still want to support Monolith and play this game, because I feel like this definitely isn't Monolith's fault. Do you really think the head honchos over at Monolith woke up one day in the middle of Shadow of War's production and said to themselves, man, I think I finally figured out why Fear 2, Condemned, and Shadow of Mordor were such huge failures. It was because we didn't fuck our fanbase in the ass enough. No, Monolith wants to make good fucking games. Sure, they want to make money, but I have no doubt that they want to make their money through their good games, and not sickening, shoddy business practices. I am currently working towards a degree in game design. There's just a few more months before I graduate college, and the prospect of getting fucked by a publisher as a game developer, having a game I toiled away on for years, get instantly besmirched in the eyes of the public because of someone else's greedy decision, is absolutely terrifying. I have countless ideas for video games, a fucking mountain of them, but way down the line, if I get any of these ideas produced and published on a large scale, this shit might happen to me. I can't imagine having to pull a hatchet job on my own game to fit somebody else's despicable agenda. That would just break my fucking heart. And that is what microtransactions do. Or at least that's what the worst of them do. They fundamentally warp the design and vision of games to fit some fucked up, greedy corporate mold that's hell-bent on sucking every last nickel and dime out of everybody's wallet. So my heart goes out to you, Monolith, it really does. And yes, these points that I'm making are points that everyone in the world has already made 1,000 times, but it all bears repeating. Microtransactions suck. They ruined Dead Space, they ruined Evolve, they ruined the Phantom Pain and Arkham Knight and Destiny. They're currently ruining the already ruined Fallout 4. They even ruined Train Simulator 2017. They're even taking away my fucking Train Simulator. But I do believe this will get better. I believe gamers are becoming more and more informed about the industry at large every day. This kind of shady shit is becoming common knowledge in the gaming community, which is a good thing because knowledge is power. With this knowledge, we can decide whose products are worthy of our hard-earned cash. Honest people like CD Projekt Red and CD Projekt Red support good game developers. Support indie projects like Hellblade and Absolver so that scene can blow up and the massive greedy corporate publishers can go fuck themselves. Use your money to your advantage and spend it wisely, or we're gonna be seeing a lot more where this came from.
Instead of grabbing your gun, fight!
How's it going, everybody? It's Yong here with a Death Stranding news update.